Jurerê Internacional, the top luxury neighborhood in Florianópolis. I'm here in Florianópolis, Santa Catarina, and today I'm going to give you the most useful real-world orientation to Jurerê International I can, especially if you are thinking about living or buying property there. I'll cover what makes it unique, how it really feels day to day, why prices behave the way they do, and the quiet gotchas you want to understand before you fall in love with a listing. First, a fast clarification. People say Jurerê like it's one thing, but it has two personalities right next to each other. One is Jurerê Tradicional, the older, more local part. The other is Jurerê Internacional, the planned, high-end section that became famous for luxury homes, resorts, and a very curated beach lifestyle. If you're looking for premium and polished, you're usually talking about Jurerê Internacional. So what makes Jurerê Internacional truly different from most of Florianópolis? Planning. A lot of Floripa grew in an organic way, street by street, decade by decade. Jurerê Internacional was built as a concept, not just a neighborhood, and is being recognized as an example of quality urbanization for a beach district. That shows up in the feels of the streets, the way the commercial area is organized, and the overall vibe. Now, if you're flying in and doing a scouting trip, here's the practical logistical piece. Jurerê is on the north side of the island, and you typically reach it using the main northbound corridor, including SC 401, depending on your starting point. From Hercílio Luz International Airport, you are generally looking at something like 30 to 37 kilometers, and the time can swing a lot with traffic. Think about 30 to 50 minutes. Let's talk about the beach itself, because this is the gravitational center of everything here. Jurerê International is known for calmer water compared to the ocean-facing surf beaches. It sits on the bay side of the island, so you get a more relaxed sea, which is a big reason families love it. And yes, a walkable beach, not a tiny strip. Depending on how you measure the stretch, you'll see numbers around the 2.2 kilometer range for the international section, and the broader Jurerê shoreline has been the subject of major shoreline work recently. In 2024, there was a widely reported beach widening project that added sand and expanded the usable beach area, with parts reaching roughly 40 meters in width. If you wanted the heartbeat of Jurerê International, when you're not literally on the sand, it is the open area. Jurerê Open is basically an open-air, walkable commercial center in the neighborhood, with dozens of shops, restaurants, services, and the kind of foot traffic you expect in a place that doubles as a vacation destination and a residential neighborhood. It is positioned as a central meeting point, and it is one of the easiest places to feel in 5 minutes whether the area fits your lifestyle. Jurerê Internacional has a strong beach club culture. Places like P12 and Café de la Musique are part of the neighborhood's brand, and whether that's a positive or a negative depends on your personality and on where exactly your property sits. In peak season, this can be energetic, glamorous, and busy. In the off-season, it can feel like the neighborhood exhales and turns into a very calm, very livable beach community. The same street can feel like two different movies depending on the month. This leads to one of the most important buying lessons in Jurerê International. Micro-location matters more here than in many other neighborhoods. 1 or 2 blocks can change your noise level, your walkability, your privacy, your parking reality, and your resale profile. If you're buying for personal use, you want to think about your tolerance for seasonal chaos. If you're buying with rental income in mind, seasonal chaos might be the future, not the bug. But you still want to understand how the building or the street behaves in December, not just in June. Now, let's talk about foreigners, because if you're watching this, you are probably not a Brazilian. Jurerê International is not just international in name, is international in the sense that it attracts foreign visitors and buyers, and has a long history of being especially popular with neighboring countries during the summer season, but also Europe and the United States and the Arab Emirates. You will hear English constantly in high season, and you'll notice services and hospitality that are built around visitors who are used to paying for convenience and expect things to work. That's a real part of why the neighborhood feels different from many areas of the island. Convenience is a big deal for foreign buyers, and Jurerê does well on the basics. You have a concentrated area of restaurants and services, and you're not isolated. But here is the nuance. It's not a downtown, do everything without a car neighborhood. Many people still rely on car or rideshare for larger errands, medical appointments, schools, and anything outside the immediate bubble. But you can also do lots of things without it. Most premium real estate in Brazil? Let's shift it to the real estate itself. The visual identity of Jurerê Internacional is high-end residential with a mix of luxury houses, upscale condominiums, and hospitality properties. You will see strong architecture variety, but a consistent theme. This is one of the places in Florianópolis where the market expects premium finishes, strong presentation, and a clean street feel. And because it is a planned, branded destination, the neighborhood name itself carries pricing power in a way that is somewhat rare in the Brazilian market. My personal take on it, some parts of the neighborhood look just like Beverly Hills and other luxury neighborhoods in California. This is not just luxury by Brazilian standards, it is luxury on a global scale. And real estate here is often more valuable than in other parts of Florianópolis, not just because of the high-end properties. Another explanation for the high prices is simple scarcity. If you have a limited supply of beach-adjacent property in a neighborhood that has global recognition, strong regional demand, and a curated commercial core. Part of it is lifestyle, calm waters, walkability to the beach, and a premium service environment. All part of its reputation. And in Brazil, reputation moves markets. Jurerê Internacional is not just a location, it's a global label people buy into. Now, let me give you a layer most people don't talk about because it's not glamorous, but it matters if you are buying. The land and environmental context. This part of the island includes sensitive coastal ecosystems, and the broader Jurerê area is discussed in planning documents in connection with restinga vegetation, mangroves, and nearby protected zones like the Carijós Ecological Station. Translation: if your dream is I'll buy a plot and do whatever I want, this is not the neighborhood to pursue. Any build, major renovation, or expansion may take a great deal of energy, time, and money to overcome the massive red tape and bureaucracy. Here's another quite detail from planning context that buyers should care about. Soil and water behavior. Parts of the north side of the island have sandy oil and a high water table. That can affect drainage, basement plants, waterproofing, and long-term maintenance. If you are buying a house, you don't just look at the kitchen. You should have a proper inspection to uncover potential serious problems. Jurerê's history. Now for history, you have the Fortaleza de São José da Ponta Grossa, part of the island coastal defense system from the 18th century. It's one of those rare places where you can do a morning beach walk and then be standing inside a piece of Brazilian colonial history the same afternoon. If you like neighborhoods with a sense of place, not just a pretty view, this matters. And two curiosity questions I always get. First, why the name Jurerê? Jurerê comes from an indigenous language local to the area and connects to the idea of a small mouth of the water tied to the waterways in the region. Second, why Internacional? Because it was positioned that way. Multiple accounts describe Jurerê Internacional as a strategic brand, a way to present the neighborhood as a luxury, global-oriented destination. In other words, the international is not an accident. It is part of the identity that drives the premium today. Thinking of buying in Jurerê International? Here are the real questions you should be asking before you wire a deposit because someone told you there are 3 other buyers and you are the chosen one. Not necessarily true in the vast majority of cases. Number one, what exactly am I buying and what are the rules attached? If it is an apartment or a condo, you want the condominium documents, rules, and financial health. If it is a house, you want to understand zoning, renovation, permissions, and any environmental constraints that could turn your simple project into a long, expensive, and troublesome journey. Number two, what is the micro-location risk? Check noise patterns, seasonal traffic, proximity to nightlife, and parking. In Jurerê, this can materially change your quality of life. Number three, what is the exit plan? Even if you're buying your dream home, you should understand resale liquidity. In luxury markets, liquidity is not guaranteed just because something is expensive. And number four, do I have a real due diligence process, or do I have just a local realtor telling me everything is going to be all right? Remember that in Brazil, there is no title insurance and sellers are not used to adopt escrow services. This is exactly where good legal support pays for itself. We handle an A to Z legal support for buyers of luxury real estate in Jurerê Internacional and Turfal Florianópolis, including a serious due diligence before you write any checks. We can also refer you to licensed realtors who specialize in this neighborhood. We have an office in Florianópolis, and if you want to buy smart and sleep well, schedule a consultation with our team. Quick disclaimer, this video is general information, not legal advice and not tax advice. Every property has its own story, and in Brazil, the risk of losses in real estate is typically higher than in other countries. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe. I will see you in our next video.